Hey, Armand here with your forecast for the week of August 1st, 2021. Let's get started with this simple fact. On Sunday, both the Sun and Mercury are opposite Saturn, and it's not the typical energy for this week. It is not the typical energy for this month. This is a very Uranian period of time that we're entering where freedom, spontaneity, doing your own thing, being independent is emphasized, but not on August 1st, as the Sun and Mercury are opposite Saturn, and there could be a lot of constraints pushing in on you. And there may be constraints from others too, because it's an opposition, although, of course, we tend to generate our own sense of limitation. The push in that we feel as we begin the week leads us to push outward all the more. So it's that I always say, I'm always talking about you pull the arrow back, and it's the tension of the arrow, it's the tension of the bow that lets the arrow fly farther. Well, that's just what we're doing on Sunday, August 1st. We're pushing in a little bit of extra tension so that we can fly later, and we will be flying. Interesting little juxtaposition this week is that the moon is waning. Right, so the moon is waning, so energy is lowering down a little bit, and we have really sparkling aspects. This is the same thing we had last week, only it's a little bit more dramatic. It's probably a good thing. It's not going to really stop us very much. What I think it'll probably do is build in a little bit of lag time so that we're a little bit less reactive than we might otherwise be. It's a good week and the start of a good month. It's not an easily containable kind of energy, but it is something that we can really make changes. And if you're looking to make changes, and you probably are, this is a good period of time. We also this week, modeling August in general, Venus is very busy. So there's a lot of relationship stuff that is going on. And it's kind of an interesting thing that on the one hand, we have independence, freedom, and spontaneity from Uranus. And then we have Venus, and it's a lot of stuff about, relationships and others and things like that. So that's another little balancing act that we'll have to do in August and this week. So after Sunday, the first thing that happens is that we hit a very Uranian moment on Monday as Venus is trying to Uranus. This is and Uranus is in Venus's home sign of Taurus. So this is a real strong connection. Basically wants to push us out of routines and moving into new territory in anything to do with relationships, or anything to do with valuables and things like that as well, aesthetics. You just want to kind of switch things up a little bit. It's not the same thing all the time. You could try something new, you could try someone new. The feel is one of moving into new territory. At the same time, also on Monday, partnership asteroid Juno stations to go direct after retrograding for a while. Now she's in Sagittarius, which is the sign of her husband. Juno and Jupiter were married. The gods got married. And in Sagittarius and conjunct the South Node, which is likely to make us a little bit more, say when things conjunct the South Node, you tend to get sort of like the more problematic side emphasized. So while Venus and Uranus are saying, hey, let's go do something new, let's break out of routines, maybe Juno in Sagittarius conjunct the South Node is being a little bit more, kind of wants to stay the same, kind of wants to, the things that you can rely upon become a little bit more emphasized in relationship. Do we have the right form of the relationship? Are you following the rules type of thing? Well, you don't want to follow the rules. Now, for most folks, one of these two things will kind of predominate. And for some folks, well, for a lot of folks, it probably won't make any difference at all, right? But for some folks, you may get both energies. And this is kind of, are my obligated to be here and do this, or am I free to go do that? It's that kind of thing. So it's an interesting start to the week. Certainly requires a little bit of attention, as relationships will all month long. Next up, I'm looking at my little cheat sheet over here. Next up, on Tuesday, Mercury is square to Uranus. Again, the Uranian energy just keeps rolling. Now, if Mercury had a hold his tongue on Sunday, there's no such thing on Tuesday, right? As we get past Sunday, you're going to say what's on your mind. Well, I don't know, maybe you will, maybe you won't. But there's a little bit of a, people will say what's on their mind. But the other thing about Mercury and Uranus, right, is that there is a strong intuition, especially with Mercury in Leo, right? So it's the insight, just getting an idea right away and moving with it. That's the kind of thing that we'll see early in the week. This is definitely Monday, Tuesday type of things. You just see what it is. You just see what it is. And maybe you tell people about it, or you find some way to make it work or something like that. But lots of great insights that are happening. So keep your little notepad with you on Monday and Tuesday, because this energy is certainly one that will get us to sort of see things in a new light. Again, after being constrained Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, it's like you're unfettered, would be a good way to put it. So it's always nice to be unfettered, I think. On Wednesday, the moon goes into Cancer, rather late on Wednesday. Now, that Uranian energy is really good when the moon is in Gemini earlier, but now all of a sudden, well, not all of a sudden, now the mood shifts towards Cancer. And the Cancer moon is always thinking lately about that meeting with Pluto, which is going to have with the opposition to Pluto, which is going to have on Friday, a little bit later on Friday. So a waning Cancer moon approaching an opposition to Pluto, this is a shift towards being a little bit more careful about things. It's not quite so spontaneous. It's not quite so free. Maybe you think, oh my gosh, did I say too much? At the beginning of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe I said too much. Maybe I should have just, kept it to myself. You can sort of have some of those types of feelings. And there's generally, it's a little bit of a closer to home type of feel with the moon in Cancer. However, as we get to Friday night, the sun, now it's the sun's turn to square Uranus. Now, the sun and Uranus in this context, with the sun in Leo and Uranus in Taurus, this is a real strong kind of independence push. So even the Cancer moon's, protectiveness, just right after she opposes Pluto, the aspect is exact. But the protectiveness, that conservatism that is a little bit more prominent, is kind of pushed apart as the sun squares Uranus. This is kind of like, no, I've got to go do my thing. It could be really hard to enlist others to your cause. You want to go out, you want to do something, you want to change things up, you just feel like doing your thing. The problem is other people are, feeling the same way, and they want to go do their thing. So getting everybody on the same page could be a little bit of a challenge, but it's probably not impossible. Just could be a little bit of a challenge. So be aware of that. Then the moon goes into Leo for the weekend, and it's the weekend. We have that Sun Uranus energy. It's really, except for the fact that the new moon is on Sunday, so we're really waning down into the very last part of the cycle. New moons aren't bad. They just tend to be, well, they're not bad at all. They're good because you get a whole new cycle comes out of it. But the thing is that we don't tend to have a lot of energy when the moon is new. So it could be really pleasant. It could be really fun. It's just likely to be a little bit more subdued on the weekend than it might otherwise be. Okay, there you go. A little bit of a rough bump on Sunday, and then freedom energy really all week long. The moon is a little bit less certain, so they're going to get a queasy feeling now and again. And then a really pleasant weekend coming up on the 7th and 8th. It's just likely to be a little bit subdued. All right, and I will see you on that very subdued new moon next week. Bye.